the most wicked pope in history. He was a man of God who fathered children in secret, a shepherd of souls who bribed, poisoned, and plotted in the shadows. And he wore the holy robes of the Pope while bathing in sin. This is the story of the most wicked pope in the history of the Catholic Church. A man so corrupt, even his own allies feared him. Welcome to the dark reign of one Pope Alexander VI. Chapter 1. The House of Borgia. Our story begins in the late 1400s, when power was not just seized through armies, but through whispers, lies, and blood. Rodrigo Borgia was no ordinary priest. He came from the infamous Borgia family, a dynasty drenched in political scandal, seduction, and murder. As a cardinal, Rodrigo gained a reputation for living lavishly, attending banquets filled with wine, gold, and women, not scripture. He bribed his way up the church's hierarchy, leaving a trail of enemies buried in silence. And then, in 1492, he did the unthinkable. He bought the papacy. Yes, you heard that right. Rodrigo Borgia became Pope Alexander VI by outbidding other cardinals, turning the holiest election in Christendom into a corrupt auction. Chapter 2. The Pope of Sins. Once seated on the papal throne, Pope Alexander VI turned the Vatican into a palace of vice. He openly acknowledged his mistresses and sired multiple illegitimate children, including the infamous Cesare Borgia and Lucrezia Borgia. Two names history remembers with both fear and fascination. Whispers spread through Rome of incestuous relationships, poisonings, and orgies held within Vatican walls. One event, known as the Banquet of Chestnuts, became legendary. 50 courtesans danced nude before the Pope and his guests, and prizes were handed out to the man who had the most encounters. This wasn't just sin, it was organized debauchery, hosted by the leader of the Catholic Church. Chapter 3. Blood and Betrayal. But Alexander's true evil went beyond lust. It was soaked in blood. His son, Cesare Borgia, acted as the Pope's private enforcer, silencing enemies with steel and poison. Rival cardinals were lured to meetings, only to disappear. Noble families who stood in the way of the Borgias were erased. And yet, Alexander always wore the robes of holiness. He delivered sermons by day and sanctioned assassinations by night. Even the sacred sacrament of marriage became a tool in his political schemes. Lucrezia, his daughter, was married off multiple times, each husband mysteriously dying when they no longer served the Pope's interests. Chapter 4. The Fall. But no man rules forever, especially one who dances with devils. In 503, Pope Alexander VI and Cesare Borgia were rumored to have accidentally poisoned themselves, mistaking their own dose meant for a guest. While Cesare survived, Alexander did not. His death sent shockwaves through Rome, and his unblessed corpse was buried without ceremony, left to rot and swell in the heat. Witnesses claimed his body turned black and bloated, as if his sins had risen to the surface. Even in death, he was denied peace. The papal ring may symbolize divine authority, but in the wrong hands, it becomes a mask for monsters. The tale of Pope Alexander VI reminds us, even the holiest throne can hide the darkest heart. Subscribe for more dark chapters of history the Church never wanted you to know.